So another things also you see here, it says today in almost every sport, team look at the game film with a new sense of enlightenment. So the point that I'm referring to here is the fact of every sport. So just get the impression that how much the effect of data analytics is deep in sports industry. It is not like that, for example, we say that it is only in soccer, it is only in football, it is only in basketball. As you can see, it says uh, in almost every sport. And again, when you connect this thing to the mission of our course, social informatics, that cultural and uh, structural context, um, you can feel the importance of data analytics in this era. All players and coaches have access to the percentages of any major statistical category to improve the game plan. When it says to the percentages of any major statistical category, it talks about the fact that anything that you can count, anything that can be considered as a feature, as a contributor to the success of a player, to success of a game, they have it. They have it, and so when they have access to that data, they can use it to improve their plan. It's now possible to know any player's strengths and weaknesses without having to send the scout out to watch every player. So it means that, again, it is another point about data analytics. See, I guess I referred to to this point in one of the previous um, videos that we had, that the point about data analytics is that it doesn't need you to be an experienced expert in that field. The tools that you are given make you an expert in the decision making. You just need to know how to use the tools, the techniques. For example, you may know nothing in the field of healthcare, and you have no education in medical areas, but when you have enough data and you have the data analytics techniques, you can create a healthcare data analytics machine for decision making. So here it says that in another way, that term and that independency, because it says that you don't have to send a scout out to watch every player for you and give their opinion about that player to you. For example, you send them to a game and you said that check this player, for example, for 1 month, and they give you feedback to, for example, they said that this player is very good, for example, catcher, this player is very good pitcher, this player is very good shooter, or anything, or any of those things. But it says now there is no need for that. You don't need a scout. You just can check the data that is available about that player and see, my friends. So we have already started discussing the effect of data analytics in the area of sports industry. They start to limit or mitigate the impact of scouts in the decision making of team managers, team coaches, and all those things. As you can see, it says, and absolutely it's correct, it's now possible to know any player's strengths and weakness without having to send a scout out to watch every player. So it means that the new structure is needing scouts less than before. And that's what in the social informatics we are about to discuss about. The effect, the impact of informatics on the analysis of effect of impact of informatics in its cultural and structural context. Today, every move a player makes, every decision, every shot, assist, goal, and pass is tracked. This information, in fact, it is data, but it is part of the article. This data is gathered, analyzed, and used to help the players and team to improve their performance. I read it another time, and I assume you remember that session that we talked about data and information, and I told you that the people who are not in the field of data analytics may use these two words interchangeably, but you as data analyticians should be careful about these things, because when it says all the things that you get in fact are data, but so you may why here it is information, because we are talking about a paper. So let's change it. But remember that this data, I put it data in the paper, in the article, it is information. Okay, every move a player makes, every decision, every shot. For example, when it talks about decision, the systems can analyze if the decision that the player made is correct or not. So they have a category. Here we are talking about this major statistical category, that what percentage of the decisions that player made are correct. For example, they said that the player made 75% correct decision. For example, a player decide to pass or shoot himself or herself. So they have every shot, assist, goal, and pass, and everything is tracked, and all this data is available. Here the focus, not the focus, more attention is based on baseball. The reason is this. You remember when we talked about informatics, we said that the origin of data analytics was from healthcare area. And here we can say the first practical origination of data analytics in sport was in baseball. And it was not very long ago. We can say in 90s and specifically 97 was but 90s, if we say 90s, that's okay. Okay, here we are talking about one measure in baseball that is called on base percentage. We are not going to talk about this because it is not the focus of our class, but here you can see how much it is numerical, how much with numbers you make decisions. OBP that calculate, for example, the offensive power of a baseballer. It is just combination of these items, these features: hits, walks, hit by pitch, at bats, walks, hit by pitch, sacrifice flies. And if you are good in baseball, of course, you are gonna understand all these things, but I'm completely lost in technical terms. But since I know data analytics, if you give me the data, I can work in this field. Okay, we have these things. we have this measure, and you see there is nothing over there for human experience. It is just numbers. You get the numbers and you calculate OBP. Another thing that we have is sabermetrics. Okay, sabermetrics, let's see what does it mean, sabermetrics. Sabermetrics is the statistical and mathematical analysis of baseball records. So see how much data analytics is embedded in baseball, that there is a term, a technical term for that way of doing the analysis. Sabermetrics is the statistical and mathematical analysis of baseball records. That is data analytics. You have the models, you give the data to it, and you get the results. Okay, these two things. So it has already impacted the field that they have the term for. And okay, this slide talks about the fact, okay, how did data analytics transition into the sports industry? As I told you, it started from baseball, and the story is very interesting in a way that we also have a Hollywood movie in this regard. The name of the movie is Moneyball, and absolutely I recommend you to recommend watching this movie, because apart from the fact that artistically it is acclaimed and wonderful, that you are going to enjoy from the excitement you get from watching the movie. I have watched that several times, and believe me, anytime, every time I watch it, I enjoy it. But also it talks about your major, and as a data analytician, I guess it would be a good idea to get it and watch it. Okay, sports analytics came to the forefront after the Oakland Athletics and Billy Beane. Here it says executive vice president. Again, it is because from the paper, but as far as I remember, it was the general manager. That doesn't affect the lecture that we have, but I just try to. So I'm gonna again bold it like the data that I bold in the previous one, that you notice that I have changed it myself. And I'm gonna also put for you the link for the paper, the article, that you can see. Okay, sport analytics came to the forefront after the Oakland Athletics and Billy Beane, the general manager, triumphs over the competition. But the story, the journey of this triumph is very interesting. Beane, the general manager, hypothesized his team could win games using players with the highest on-base percentages. It is on-base percentages. So suddenly a very radical decision that if you go and hire players with the highest on-base percentage, you are gonna get better results. It was at that time far outside the norm of a traditional approach. Long story short, he was correct. And see, my friends, why they decide to go for the highest on-base percentages? Because they noticed that some of the players in the field of baseball with highest on-base percentages are undervalued, and so they can hire them cheaper, and also they are going to be more effective than some of the other flashy, am I right with the flashy, that famous baseball players that are expensive, but they are not gonna serve their goal as much as the other ones.